So I watched the movie, Adam Sandler's movie, Pixels, you know, where Pac-Man and Space Invaders come down from aliens and we send this message out into space in the 1980s, and in this little time capsule we've included some video games at the time, Pac-Man and such, and an alien species gets it and sends back a response, you know, many years later, 30 years later, whatever it is. And the response is they've created the game in real life to come down and, you know, chomp up our cities, and we need some experts to deal with this. And the top military people of today just don't have what it takes, you know, video game skills. They just can't do it. So Adam Sandler has to get his whole crew together, which is one other, you know, nerdy guy, and then the President of the United States, who is played, well, there's three guys, and they all go back to the 1980s. So Adam Sandler, this kind of nerdy guy, and then there's this little person guy, you know, dwarf guy or whatever, and all three of them combined, you know, can stop this and win the game against these alien species or whatever that you never see. They just send down their little computer or whatever arcade game things. First off, it's probably one of the worst Adam Sandler videos I ever saw, or movies. It was terrible. Everything about the movie was just terrible. But why I'm doing this video is because as I'm watching this as I'm watching this movie, I'm seeing things stand out to me that the average person, again, wouldn't know anything about, doesn't have a clue. It's just a part of the movie set. I'm liking the movie. I'm having a good old time. Well, first of all, the President of the United States in the movie, I can't think of is it Kevin James, or I can't think of his name, that plays Paul Bart Mall Cop, that guy. He is the President of the United States of America in this movie. And up until this movie, there was only one other movie that I could think of that was worse, worst choice ever of a president in a movie, and that was The Fifth Element. Even though I like the movie The Fifth Element, the president in The Fifth Element was Debo from Friday, also known as Tiny Zeus or whatever his name is. He can make one hell of a bad guy, one big bad bully, but he is not a good president of the United States. And in the movie, it wasn't real good, his role. So for me, that took the cake this whole time, until Pixels came out, and you put Paul Bart Mall Cop as the President of the United States, who, again, as a guy like that who's always trying to be funny and comedic, while he's president, still trying to do the funny thing. It was awful. But I'm noticing a scene where, you know, Adam Sandler pretty much can walk right into the White House real easily, you know, because he's real good friends with the president by chance. And, you know, the president has to make the decision. We got to save the world, and, you know, I got to bring my old high school buddy in here to do this, which is Adam Sandler. Ugh. So, they're in the Oval Office, in the president's office, and there's two obelisks on his desk. You know, ancient Egyptian, whatever, obelisks. Now you might argue, oh, well, that's the national monument. You know, Washington, D.C., national monument. It's basically an obelisk, too. Yes, that's true. And when did that obelisk get put into the United States of America, in Washington, D.C., and by whom? And what's the real reason? Why would you select an obelisk? Who selected an obelisk, of all things, to become your country's national monument? That's the question. Those of us who are well aware of the occult and what they do, these elitists, etc., we know that's their marking. Any country you see that at, lets the club know, we got this. This is ours. And when that thing was erected long ago in Washington, D.C., that was their sign telling everybody who knows anything, the United States is now ours. Yeah, you had your little constitution and your president. This country is now going to be ours. It's already a done deal. We're going to go ahead and put this monument for you. You can call it the National Monument, but at the end of the day, it is an occult obelisk. And these obelisks that were on the president's desk in the movie were not the National Monument. They were the regular, what I'll just call old school obelisks that have the fat base and the skinny top that really are fat. Like, not like our obelisk where it's, you know, like a normal tower would just be, you know, bigger base at the bottom and then get skinny at the top. Not just that, but it's got like this little stand underneath the bottom of it. It wasn't a national monument. It was two obelisks sitting on the President of the United States of America's desk as a prop for some reason in this movie. Needed to be there. No other value whatsoever. Had nothing to do with anything, but it was there. And then Adam Sandler's kind of nerdy friend, that again he's got to bring back from the, you know, from the 1980s friendship club where they were awesome at arcade games. He's got to bring him with him because, you know, he can help too. But this guy in the whole movie is the conspiracy theorist. So as they're going and talking to the president and hearing, you know, a little bit of top secret information on certain things, this guy's, you know, having a field day with all his theory, you know, conspiracy theories. And every now and then he'll just out of nowhere kind of, maybe there'll be a conversation and he just says something, oh yeah, like the base on Mars, or the base on the backside of the moon. You know, it's meant to be kind of silly, jokingly. He's a conspiracy guy. It's his role in the movie. And to be honest, it was pretty stupid, everything about it. But I'm still catching it and saying, okay. And he made some stupid claims, stuff we've all heard of. I don't even remember. It didn't stick with me, but whatever. Yeah, that's a conspiracy. The moon, yeah, whatever. And then all of a sudden, again, out of nowhere, no need to even say this, he comes up and says, yeah, like the ancient Egyptian, or I don't know if he said Egyptian, the ancient pyramid underneath the Hoover Dam. Number one, that is not a conspiracy theory. I've never heard of that. Everything else this guy said in the movie, again, it was scripted, it was his role, was absolutely heard of by probably all of us as a conspiracy theory. And he was saying them. So nothing stood out, yeah, it's like, whatever, yeah, we know about that. It's whether real or false, whatever, right? Then he throws that one out there. Like the ancient pyramid underneath the Hoover Dam. Oh, oh, wait a minute. Which one? I never heard of that before. That's not a conspiracy theory. I haven't even heard of that. So why is that relevant? Well, as you know, as Data said from the Goonies, $50 bill. $50 bill. Guys, you found the money to save the Boondocks, $50 bill. On the $50 bill, if you fold it the same exact way you fold the other dollars that showed the Pentagon attack on 9/11, the Twin Towers, and I'll say it again, it shows both Twin Towers on the dollar bill. I don't know which one, it was a 10 or the 5 or whatever at this moment in time. Shows both Twin Towers, one hit in the center and one hit at the top, smoking and damage in those areas. Oh, probably a coincidence when they printed the dollar and the little White House and all. It was just the way you fold. Just a coincidence. Yet, one tower was really hit center point, and the other tower was really hit at the top. Maybe 10 stories down from the very top. 110, I think, story building. And you mean to tell me that image on a dollar bill, again, the same dollar that's created by the Federal Reserve, which is the core of the problems of our country, the fractional reserve lending Federal Reserve Bank, every president since this country's been around that had tried to remove and even successfully remove the central bank was shortly thereafter done away with, and then another central bank would pop up in its place after that president was dealt with. Every single time. That's how important it is. So, $50 bill depicts the Hoover Dam bursting, water spilling over it. Folded, if you fold it the same exact way as you folded the other dollars, which also showed that image of the Pentagon being attacked and the Twin Towers being attacked, and there may be something else I can't think of at this moment. So we know those happened, but the Hoover Dam part hasn't happened yet. I also watched San Andreas not that long ago. The one where a big earthquake hits, San Andreas fault, California. The Rock plays the main character, and he's saving his daughter and his ex-wife, and they get back together, and utter destruction. And within the first, I'm going to say 15 minutes of the movie, it starts. You're not waiting halfway through the movie before the earthquake starts. It starts within about 15 minutes. It's the big one. And they've got a new technology, new theories that they think, out of this MIT school or whatever, one of this guy's students, not The Rock, this other guy, teacher guy, or professor, one of his students, let's go and see if we can verify this. Well, they go to the Hoover Dam, and he's like inside some kind of part of the dam where it's concrete, and he's in there, and there's like this little hole. He's kind of like in this little cubby hole, and he's doing his tests, and it looks like it's verifying that we can tell when one's coming, a big one, and this is working. And then someone's like, did you just see that spike? It's off the charts. Oh my God, get out of there, get out of there. Because we're basically just forecasting, and one's about to happen here shortly. And sure enough, boom, it starts happening. The guy's trying to escape with his life, and he's running on the top of the dam. He's almost to the edge where it's, the safe part where the water's not underneath him, or the dam part itself, and he's just about to clear it, and he saves some little girl, and he throws her to the professor at the last minute, and he catches her to save her, but then the guy perishes, and Hoover Dam is destroyed, the water comes through it, and then that's the end of that entire scene. You don't see what the damage was. They don't show it going. I mean, if you're going to put that piece in a movie, the Hoover Dam breaking, by God, you gotta have to show what happens after that dam breaks. The devastation. Nope. Don't show any of it. Just keep going to the next scene and the next piece, and there's gonna be some big, powerful aftershocks and all that. Hoover Dam is never mentioned again, never shown, nothing else in the rest of the movie. So, as we've discussed, I have, for sure, in the movies, Lindsay Williams said they will show you. The elite are going to show you. They will tell you exactly what they're going to do to you before they do it. Keeping in mind, we are at the cusp of September-October time frame of the big economic problems. Another movie, 2012. The guy's in his camper, living the conspiracy life in this camper, and he's broadcasting to like a radio program, internet radio program or whatever, or even, local, cars can pick him up with their antennas, like a radio station. He's in his little RV in Yellowstone Park or something, and, the main character in that movie goes and talks to him. They kind of meet by accident, and he chats with him. He's like, yeah, this guy's kind of weird, and the guy is a conspiracy theorist. He's making this claim that the elite, the club, have these secret places to hide and stuff, and these little, vehicles, or, like these gigantic Noah's Ark submarine things, because they know it's coming, and that's his theory, and he knows where they are, and once again, a conspiracy theorist in the movie. And he, again, makes a claim of exactly what we're all expecting of the stock market and the economy. And I don't remember the order that he says this. I haven't seen it in long enough to remember, but it has absolutely nothing to do with the movie. The script could have been taken completely out. It had no value whatsoever. And he goes, first it starts off with the dollar, then the dollar starts collapsing, and boom! Then it's the stock market, and the world markets collapse. Boom! Then it's this and that. Okay, what the hell does that have to do, again, with 2012, this devastating event on Earth, people got to go survive? What in the hell does that have to do with this movie? That wouldn't even matter. stock market and dollar. None of that would matter in a 2012 movie scenario where the world's basically not necessarily coming to an end, but for 90% of the people it's coming to an end, and there's floods and devastation and you name it. Why was that line in there? Because, as Lindsay Williams said, they love to use the movies to tell you what they're going to do to you. They love it. Because you're just going to see that movie and love the movie. You're not going to catch little phrases like that and think, well, wonder why he said that. Nope, you're just going to be eating that popcorn and loving the show. So here we have these other movies I just told you about, and now Pixels, one of the worst Adam Sandler films possibly ever. It was just awful to me. And there's another conspiracy theorist, and he says, yeah, like the secret pyramid or whatever, ancient pyramid underneath the Hoover Dam. The key point here, in my eyes, on that sentence, is not that there has anything to do with a pyramid under the dam or anything about that. No. There's two key points. Hint, hint, Hoover Dam, the club's telling you, number one. Number two, ancient pyramid. Oh, you mean like the all-seeing eye pyramid on our back of our dollar? That says basically New World Order on the bottom. And that pyramid, just like the ancient obelisk, is extremely important to the elite, the occult. So when he uses the word ancient pyramid, he's saying elite. Underneath the Hoover Dam, he's saying our target. The elite, here's our symbol, triangle, not just a triangle, it's a pyramid technically. And then the badge, or whatever, insignia, as if Adam Sandler and his crew of two other guys need a special, like, superhero suit, spandexy suit of some sort, as if they even need that to go fight these Pixels, you know, Pac-Man and whatnot. It's this giant triangle in your face. And there was, I want to say, three or other things in this movie, Pixels, that stood out to me as well. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, uh-huh. You know, same thing. Same kind of reaction to the rest of it. And I can't remember what it was, because it's been over a week now, and those are the main things I wanted to share with you. So, it's only a matter of time. I feel like I can say this with absolute certainty. And I don't know if it's going to be, again, is it going to be an earthquake that causes the Hoover Dam to go? Next question out of my mouth would be, well, if they're putting that stuff in the movies now, and they know with 100% certainty these things are going to happen, because when they talk about put these things in movies, they happen. That means they know the Hoover Dam's going to go bye-bye in some way, shape, or form. So if they know it in advance, either A, two choices here. We'll start with the most absurd, which may not be too absurd. They have some kind of time-traveling viewing device, and they can see future events. And they know the Hoover Dam's going to go because of that. Okay, that's one choice. That is a choice. I have to give it to you. Choice number two, they're going to make it happen. Which sounds like a choice that sounds more likely. I'm going to go with B. They're going to make it happen. Which would also mean, should there be a massive devastating earthquake in California that ultimately causes the Hoover Dam to be destroyed, was it really an act of God that caused the earthquake? Or did the club put a nuke or some device in the sweet spot of one of these faults over there, maybe the San Andreas fault itself, and hit the go button? I mean, I have no idea. And for me to even speculate, honestly, is a bit on the absurd side because of the only two choices that I can really come up with on that. What I do know is what I just got done telling you a few minutes ago about what they do in the movies. They tell it to you. Lindsay Williams said this a long time ago. That's one of their best methods that they use. He referred to a couple movies, one of them being one that was called Oil Storm, that came out right before Hurricane Katrina came and hit, devastated. and it was a spitting. The movie was exactly what happened. How could that happen? How could they know that much in advance of how this is going to play out by this hurricane coming through there to put it in a movie, and then how what happens in real life is pretty much what happened there? That's pretty incredible. Then we have the movie The Knowing, which had several things in it that stood out to me. Nicolas Cage got this oil rig burning in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. He flips his TV on like midnight, just for no reason, whatever, and sees this breaking news. There's an oil rig on fire in the Gulf of Mexico, and that was it for that scene, right? And then shortly after that, what happens in real life? BP oil spill, oil rigs burning on fire. They're out there trying to put the fire out, and I look at the real news footage, and then I go back, because you could find it all over YouTube, that little clip of the movie, and I'm looking at them thinking, oh my God, how similarly close is the movie version of what really happened with the boats and all trying to put the fires out and all that. This is almost a spitting image. This is incredible. Probably a pure, everything I just told you about, coincidence, 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 coincidence. I'm sure. Take care.